Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Gentlemen's Club Whiskey. I'm your host, Marc.Antomattei, and in today's episode, I'm going to be giving the introduction to the Suntory World Whisky Owl. Now, I know this might be a little bit difficult for you to see with the glare on the screen, but sure enough, we will take it out of the box. But before that, I suppose I should show you around the box real quick. On the top, there's like an embossed compass that says American, Scotch, Irish, Canadian, and Japanese. Let me see if I can show this to the camera and have it focus. And on the side of the box, there's also an embossing that says Suntory World Whisky, a blend of 5 major whiskeys, Owl. On the back of the box, there is some information here, but this is also included inside of this booklet, which comes inside of the box. This bottle has been pre-opened, by the way. I just put it back inside of the box just for the presentation aspect of it, just to show you how it was given to me. And another thing of note is that this actually has 2 different boxes that you can acquire this in. One of them being this one with the half transparent see-through plastic box, and the other one comes inside of a full covered box in which the bottle itself, the decanter, is not revealed at all until you take it out to be able to see it. But I just so happened to get this one. And I did buy this a long time ago. This whiskey came out originally on April 16th, 2019. And I bought it right around that time, brand new, but I've only delved into it just a few times, maybe 4 or 5 times minimum. I may have drank out of this, but it's really not that much. But like I said, there's some information on the back here. Maybe it's not that important. It's all in Japanese, but like I said, majority of that information is inside this booklet, and I'll share it once I get to that point. Let me open it up out of the box real quick. All right, so the interesting thing about this bottle is that if you look at it from the bottom, it looks like a diamond. Well, actually, a diamond would be more presented that way. It feels very good in the hands. It's a nice shaped decanter, just about as nice as, maybe not as nice as the Hibiki, but this is quite unique in its own right, and which is the only one of its kind that's like this. This is a 700 milliliter bottle, and the ABV, the alcohol by volume on this one, is 43%. And I paid about 5,000 Japanese yen for this. And with the tax included, that's more closer to about 6,000 Japanese yen. I think the tax on alcohol went up this year from 8% to 10%. So it is quite more expensive than what I paid for it back at the time, but not too much, from 8 to 10%, like I said. The word owl. When I first heard of this, I was calling it Suntory World Whisky AO. But then after seeing the actual kanji, owl, this is a Japanese word that simply means blue. Now, the special thing about this, or the specialty about this, is It's a unique blend of 5 major whiskeys from around the world. This is including Irish, Scotch, American, Canadian, and Japanese. I think I've already mentioned that before. And the 5-sided bottle, the diamonds, each one of these corners represents one of the major regions of the world in which this whiskey comes from. To be more specific about the 5 prime locations that this whiskey comes from, the Scotch is from the Ardmore Distillery and the Glengarioch Distillery. The Irish whiskey comes from Cooley Distillery. The Canadian comes from Alberta Distillery. The American comes from Jim Beam American Stillhouse in Claremont, Kentucky. And the Japanese whiskey, of course, comes from Yamazaki and Hakushu. All right. I'm going to set this down on the counter next to me. And right after this video, I'm going to conduct my review. So I have my Glencairn glass next to me. We're going to crack this book open real quick. The very first page here of the book, it says, Suntory's blend aims at harmony that brings together various individual whiskeys. And when you flip it to the next page, I guess there is an introduction from the chief master blender, Shinji Fukuyo. And as you go through the pages, there's a little bit about each whiskey region of the world. And on this page, it tells you about the 5 regions and the 7 distilleries that I named prior. On this page, we have Suntory's tasting notes in Japanese, but I will reveal this in the next video when I conduct my review. And then finally, it talks about different ways about how you can enjoy this. This page is about making a highball. This shows about different ways of mixing. And that's all there is to this book. Not much to this, but it's a new whiskey and one that I thoroughly enjoyed. I say that it's very comparable to a Hibiki Japanese whiskey. I mean, it's different enough to be its own beast, so to speak, but it shares a lot of characteristics with Hibiki as a blended whiskey in terms of taste and other notes. But I rather enjoy this. And the good thing about this is that I think it's so much cheaper. Well, not, I wouldn't say so much cheaper, but it's about as cheap or inexpensive as the Hibiki No Age statement. And it's good. So it makes for a good daily drinker if you can acquire it. But of course, most of my audience are inside of the United States. This one might be hard for you to get unless you are to come to Japan. But I don't think this has been released stateside yet. But it is in East Asia where you can get it. And obviously Japan where I'm at now. But anyways, gentlemen, that's all for today. I would like for you to stay tuned and be on the lookout for the next video where I conduct my tasting review. And that's where you're going to get my notes and Suntory's tasting notes over this one. Anyways, gentlemen, salute to you wherever you may be out in the world. Make sure you drink responsibly. And as always, gentlemen, keep it classy.